Good evening, welcome to Sports Week. It's been another massive week in the world of sport. We're going to cover everything here tonight. We've got a few special guests joining us in the studio. We're going to do a preview of the Big Bash Grand Final coming up on Friday evening. So yeah, what to cover. Joining me at the desk as usual, Matthew Fleming. How Matt?
Hey buddy, how we going?
Good.
Good
Got
week.
Plenty
of sleep this week?
Yeah. More than I was expecting, actually.
Little Lucy's going good?
Yeah, Lucy's going real well.
Awesome.
And as usual, Daniel Nimmo, there's no other way we can describe Nimmo over at the bar, is there? Really. Just to say his name. Nimmo, how are you, mate?
Grillsy, I'm fantastic. Hey, congratulations. New dad, that's huge. Wowee, that's holy. I tell you what, it puts a whole new perspective on when we're playing golf and you said every hole, Nimmo, is a goal. You took that to the next level, didn't you?
Yes.
Holy bear, but that's good. Well done. Congratulations to the to you and the misso that did
all the work.
The secondary work, anyway. And I won't mention the name because I'm not sure which one it is, but no, well done. I hope you're getting some sleep and it sounds like you are. So that's good.
Very good. And of course, Victoria Clark joining us as usual. How are you, Vic?
Good, thanks, Rhys. Yeah, it's been a very, very big week. Santa Storage Shed has finally finished up on 4BU and hits. It's been a very, very big couple of months, but it all paid off. It was a fantastic big event, and congratulations to all the prize winners throughout Bundy and throughout the region who took away over 100 grand worth of prizes. Early start to Chrissy.
Saw a few photos. There's a lot of happy people.
Did you see the photo just before of Victoria at the pageant light in the elf costume?
No, that was Saturday.
Was that Santa Storage Shed?
Was emceeing the Santa Storage Shed event, and then
that's nearly a meme of the movie Elf.
Thank you.
I reckon with you and swap you out for Will Ferrell. In that was you and you were here, and your co-hosts were down here.
Take that, Maddie and Trace.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, Maddie, as we know, is only a little tacker.
Yes. All right, we'll kick off as we usually do. Grand Ridge Brewing Weekly Highlight. What's caught your eye in the world of sport in the last 7 days?
I'm going for the Lakers winning the in-season tournament for the first time.
Yep.
This has been run in the NBA just to give it a bit of spice at the start of the season. So puts a big emphasis on just knockout. It's win or go home. So the money. Each player won 100 grand or something, but they probably spent
chicken
that.
Feed.
They'll spend that in Vegas on a night out. So, but it was good. It was good to see something different. And the other three teams that made the semi-finals were not sort of your perennial favourites in the NBA, I suppose. The Pacers and the Pelicans making it to the semi. So good to see. A little bit of different atmosphere and stuff. And the benches were all up and about. It was kind of like watching a college game, actually. So it was good.
A little bit like the old Panasonic Cup in the rugby league
the Panasonic Cup. Oh, wow, there you're going back, aren't you? Wednesday night. Yes, there we go. Yeah. Good job to the old fellow LeBron at 39 or whatever he is to do that.
Yeah. Very good. Vic, we'll go to you next.
Yeah, very exciting. We had a young Bundy girl who might be, is having a chance at competing for Queensland in the Australian Championships in January, the indoor women's hockey team. She made the shadow team, at least, in the state championships last week. Hayley Kendall, I think her name is. Yep. And she's, quite possibly in the running to play for her state down in the championships in early 2024. So very, very exciting for her and to have a Bundy representative as well in such a big event. So best of luck to her.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And just on that, the Bundy 18 boys, I see, won the Division 2 state championships. Same weekend, last weekend. So.
Yeah.
Well done to those.
We've always been
Bundy
strong in hockey, haven't we?
Yeah.
Up here, we've been strong in hockey, haven't we?
Yeah.
So.
Holy hockey.
Yes. Nimmo, where are you going in the world of sport?
Equine athlete. 2 words. That's all I've got for you. Romantic warrior. Obviously, we all know Romantic Warrior from winning the Cox Plate, the Irish-bred, Hong Kong-trained horse, stallion. Won the Cox Plate 6 weeks ago here in Australia. Went back over to Hong Kong. Went through the whole quarantine. That's pretty stressful on the body. 6 weeks later, gets up, Hong Kong Cup on the weekend. That'll never happen again. that is as good as it gets from a horse. Equine athlete.
How much did it pay, Nemo?
Oh, not enough.
Oh,
It was favourite.
Oh, it's favourite.
A bit responsible.
Yeah.
Now, J-Mac on board, he wasn't
Oh.
impressed. Best moment of his life. Best day ever.
There would have been a fair payday too, I would imagine.
Oh.
The Hong Kong
Well, so
Cup.
it's the richest race in Hong Kong. It's worth 38 million Hong Kong dollars. It's about $6 million our dollars, but so not quite as rich as the races over here. But nice little payday for J-Mac.
Good job.
Very good. I know. Well, how good is it to have Big Bash back on the TV?
Oh,
Game
awesome.
of
Every
cricket,
night.
Every night there's a game
Every
on.
night.
We'll have a bit of a chat about some of it later, but the heater's starting to look all right, and we'll have a little break for the Test match. But Big Bash every night of the week.
Tall Paul.
Tall Paul.
Tall Paul for the heat.
Yes.
He's a
We had the
Little
World
weapon.
Cup, and we had the ladies' Big Bash, now the men's Big Bash. So
straight into the test.
straight into the Test.
Yeah,
So
beauty.
fill your boots.
That's it.
Is that your highlight, Grillsy?
That's it. Just
Cricket every night.
Cricket every night. Happy
highlight.
days.
You
Especially when you're up
You
feeding.
get enough
Yeah.
sleep, mate, or what?
when he's up babysitting, it's perfect. Hey, feed the child, watch the cricket for a couple of hours. Perfect.
Living the dream. You planned that well, didn't you?
Yeah.
Happy days. Yeah. All right. Our resident motorsport guru, Jason Bell, has filed another interview for us.
Back on again.
He's back again. 5-time Commodore Cup National Series champion. Jeff Emery is lining up for his 6th full season in the Dunlop Series. He initially moved into the series in 2006 as teammate to Nathan Pretty at Smith's Trucks Racing, but found things difficult and results hard to come by. Emery made a one-off appearance in the series finale at Phillip Island in 07 and teamed up with Tony Bates from Tag Motorsport in 2008, driving a pair of ex-HRT Commodores. Built new in 2008, it was driven by Greg Murphy for that season, and throughout 2009, including when Murphy and Scaife drove it to 4th place at Bathurst. So Belly's filed this little interview for us.
Right, thanks guys. Welcome to the show, Jeff Emery. How are you, Jeff?
Yeah, very good, thank you.
All right, so tell us a bit about what you've been doing this year, racing-wise. Who you're racing for? What series you're racing in, and sort of how you've gone, really.
Yeah, look, it was a sort of a last-minute deal for us sort of heading into the GT World Fanatec series with the SRO. It sort of came together with obviously the Troy and at MPC. It's obviously I've driven with those guys before, so it was a real pleasure to sort of jump back in with those guys again and have another crack. Obviously, I've been with those guys for a few years now. We've done Super Tours in New Zealand, and I've done 4 or 5 championships with them now with GT. So we've won 3 of them, 3 of the GT championships and 1 endurance championship. So we've had a lot of success with those guys. So it was a really easy decision to sort of come back and join those guys here because it's such a well positioned front running team, and they're very well organised, obviously. So we sort of started off a bit slow at Bathurst, and sort of we our way through the series, and we're at one point there we're leading the series, which I thought was pretty good since I haven't been in an Audi for 3 years odd. So I've obviously been doing the Carrera Cup last year, so it was kind of tough to come back and get used to all the aero again in the GT cars, but we ended up having a pretty good season. We sort of didn't have a lot of car speed at the last round, which sort of knocked us out of the championship. So we ended up with 2nd position in the championship by about 14 points. So to be honest, I was actually pretty happy for sort of a last minute thing to sort of come together and end up with that result.
So preparation, when you go to race at an event like Adelaide or Bathurst, you obviously don't just rock up after watching a bit of telly at home and jump straight in the car. What do you do preparation-wise? Do you have a simulator? What do you do? Yeah,
as you can see, I've got a simulator behind me there that I do a lot of miles on beforehand. But there's a lot of physical training goes into it as well. So I probably ride the bike a fair bit, probably 3 days a week, and do a bit of PT and a bit of core training as well. So it's pretty much 5-6 days a week training to sort of keep the body up to speed, to deal with all the G forces and obviously in a GT car. So in any car really, but GT car especially with all the corner speeds.
Yeah, and you're talking about the simulator. So a couple of weeks out from the event, how much time would you spend in the simulator?
I probably spend, I don't know, a couple of hours a day on the simulator. So I'll obviously just drive the simulator tracks that we've got on there with iRacing and Assetto. And then as we get closer to the event, I'd probably focus more on in-car footage in the simulator and just build muscle memory for the weekend. So, yeah, so there is a fair bit of simulator work involved.
This is another question which the guys at home would like to know. You're a professional driver. Where did it start off for you? Did it start off in karting?
I started in 1997 in a category called Commodore Cup. So it was just a spur of the moment decision to go and buy a race car, and I never did go-kart, so I just jumped straight into tin tops back then and had a fair bit of success with that over the years. We won 5 championships in a row in that category there, and I sort of learned to be a lot more hands-on with cars, building my own cars and my own engines and stuff like that over the years. And yeah, so I sort of started there, and then I progressed to a Dunlop series. So I drove, obviously I had a Mark Scaife car originally, a HRT car for a couple of years of VZ. Then I moved into Greg Murphy Racing and into their Tasman cars. So I ran with obviously Kevin and Greg Murphy down there for a couple of years, and that was a really good experience. And then I brought a 888 car and they ran that for me as well, which was an ex-Lowndes car. So I did about 8 seasons in Super 2. I only won 1 race in that whole time. So it's a pretty tough category, that. But I was racing against the likes of Chaz Mostert, and you might have heard of a guy called Scotty McLaughlin. So they were kind of taking all the wins back then, and they were pretty hard to beat. You had to really get them on an off day to get anywhere close to them. So, yeah, I had a tough crowd, and I was probably, a good 15 years, 20 years older than those guys. Not that I'm making excuses, but that's pretty much where we ended up. And then I sort of progressed to GT3 Cups, which was really good experience. Obviously started getting into the aero cars. So we won that championship in AM. The first year out, I drove with Betty the year before that in the Erebus Goldwing SLS. And then we moved to Carrera Cup after that in 2020. Yeah, so 20, and then 2022 we did Carrera Cup again. And then now GT again.
Speaking of Melbourne Performance Centre, I was lucky enough to see the setup they have there probably about 2 or 3 months ago now. Pretty amazing setup.
Yeah, it's a great setup down there. Obviously, they look after a lot of cars, and they're obviously Audi factory team for Australia. So they're representing Audi at the highest level. So and they perform at the highest level. So they're doing a great job down there, and they've got a lot of cars to look after, and it's a massive team. So I think they've put together about 8 to 10 cars for 12-hour Bathurst each year. So you can imagine the amount of people that they have to employ and manage. And obviously these aren't your normal tune and lube guys from your local service station. These guys are fairly high skilled professional mechanics. So it's a pretty big deal for those guys to put all that together.
Yeah, I noticed when I was down there, the setup looks more like a doctor's surgery. Basically, it's just pristine. It's so clean, and obviously that's what you're talking about with the professionalism and having the cars in tip-top shape.
Yeah, look at the races are always won at the workshop. So your preparation is everything in car racing, and everything needs to be meticulous, and almost to the OCD side of things, because you only get one chance. It's not like a road car. If a wheel comes loose, you pull over and you tighten it up. With a race car, it's it's the end of that session or whatever, and every minute on the track is precious. So everything has to be absolutely spot on for every single session.
Well, Jeff, good luck in 2024, and thanks for spending the time to have a chat with us tonight.
Yeah, thanks for including me, guys. Very nice.
Yeah, thanks there to Jason Bell. He's done some great stuff for us throughout the whole year and joined us on plenty of occasions, and knows a lot more about motorsport than I think us 4 put together.
Yeah, a hell of a lot more, I reckon.
So no, thanks to Jace for all his work.
He's done good, hasn't he?
Yep.
Supplied the cans.
And supplied the cans.
Yeah, he's a bloody good bloke.
He's been my favourite bloke on the panel.
I
think he's all our favourite bloke now.
No. All right, we're going to head to our first commercial break. Coming up after the break, we've got Lisa and Aaron joining us from Natives Netball Club. We'll be right back.
Our programs are made by the very heartbeat of our town. It's our people that make our programs about us and what we do. From an early morning Anzac Day service to local sport,
There's a wicket at the
lively conversation about the game, to local music and the food we grow. Our people watch our locally made programs starring us and what we do. Your business can reach our audience in several very cost-effective ways. To find out how, send us an email or call for a no-obligation chat.
See Tagglevan's, your family-owned caravanning experts for the popular New Age caravan range. Walkinshaw designed and engineered for superior strength and reliability. Start your adventures today with a New Age caravan from Dale and the team at Tacklevan's to Calvin Street, Bundaberg.
Welcome back to Sports Week. Okay, it's time to talk a little bit of netball. Joining us at the desk is a Natives Netball Club President, Lisa Nash, and Vice President and Coaching Convener, Erin McCabe. How are we, ladies?
Good, thank you.
Good, thanks.
Before we get into the upcoming season, and everyone's probably enjoying a break at the moment, but just give us a bit of a recap on last season, not only for yourselves, but Netball Association in general.
Yeah, 2023 for Natives was a very successful season. All in all, B&A always put on a great competition. We did try a few tweaks this year, so we started the season a little bit later and we finished earlier, which was really good. Played out through the school holidays too, so it was different, but really good because we were then able to play 18 weeks kind of straight, which gave our teams stability, and they continued to train and everything rather than stopping and starting through the year. So our Division 1 team, the Magpies, made it through to the grand final for the first time in 19 years. So that was a phenomenal feat for Natives in itself. Yeah, unfortunately, we did go down to Waves Gold in the end, yes. But the first time we played them, we went down by 42 points. Second time was 47 points, and we only went down by 18 in the grand final. So, true testament to the girls and the sportsmanship and the team that they built over the 18 weeks.
Yeah.
Yep. So, just tell us a little bit about the club. It's been around since 1992 and going strong. Any more fill us in on the background?
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you know? Yeah.
This year we've had 33 new members, 29 families, so we are building each year. So it's really good that Natives is building each year. We're only a small club compared to a couple of the others, but we're growing.
What's the age demographic on the Natives?
Yeah, so we have 5 to 6 year olds that start in net. They're with the B&A Association, so B&A run that program, and then from the ages of 7 right through to doesn't matter. I think one of our one of our oldest ladies are like in their 50s. So yeah, but from 7 years old, it's just phenomenal.
That's
to
awesome.
to see them come through.
And what positions do you guys play, or do you alternate each game?
Yeah, with our littlies, we tend to alternate.
Yep.
But sort of once we get up into the higher division level, we do hone in on the players' skills.
What positions they like and play and enjoy.
Yeah.
Well, if you're not a good shooter, there's no point being a shooter.
No, there's not.
No.
Go back and play defense.
That's right, exactly.
Send it all the way.
Yeah.
We do have some very versatile players too that can actually just go wherever. So, they can be shooting 1 week, defence the next, centre court the following. So, yeah, very versatile
Kind of sounds
players.
a little bit like Nimmo on the footy field. He's a bit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, when
Can
I
he
coach
kick
him, I
goals,
can
though?
just I
Is he
can
any
plug
good
him in anywhere,
Yeah.
except for up forward. He's
Yeah.
no good up
Unlike
forward.
pickleball, where he went right over the net.
Oh yeah, pickleball. He's really talented at that, wasn't he?
Are we talking about netball?
Yeah. No, we've got to give you some as well. Yeah.
So 2024, plenty on the horizon. Sign-on dates kicking off. Where are we at?
Yeah. So registrations open the beginning of January. So we don't really get a break. We're already planning for 2024. And then our selection days, we're still ironing out a few dates because we do have our carnivals that we need to take into consideration as well, because some of our natives players actually play in the Bundy rep teams. So making sure that we can utilise as many players here on the day. So still ironing out the dates for the selection, but they normally sit the first and the second week of February. So yeah, sort of checking making sure everything's
that's
going
early.
ahead with that. Yeah.
That seems early. You won't start till April.
So
Most winter sports won't start till after Easter.
Yeah.
I'd say this year, sort of.
Yeah. So
Firstly,
it will be after Easter. We do have grading days. So BNA started a round robin day where we can play our teams for 2 weeks and just make sure that we have put together a strong team for that division. If not, we can make some changes before their season kicks off just after Labor Day in May. Yeah.
Yep. So how's the club embracing and supporting inclusiveness? Aaron?
We support all the families in natives, in rep and who they want to play with. Like younger girls would like to play with their friends. So we encourage that. We encourage all of them.
Yep.
Yeah, so we do ask for feedback at the end of the year and getting into the season too. Do you want to play with friends or do you want to be pushed? So some of the girls will say, no, I want to play Division 1 one day. So they ask to be pushed up through the divisions and the parents give us the okay to do that. And other girls, they just want to play netball. They want to be with their friends. It's a social thing. So we definitely get behind that. We are trying to encourage more males to play. So we do have the ability to put a male into our teams under the age of 12 and under. Unfortunately, Netball Australia has rulings on introducing above 12-year-old boys into a girls team. So BNA and definitely us.
No chance of us playing.
We are trying to put together some teams to be able to play in men's or mixed. So that's definitely on our radar. And next year, Natives will be releasing some new uniforms that encourage the boys to play as well. So instead of just wearing a dress, we have shorts as well. So we have the short and the shirt option, and then we have a shirt and a long pant option too, because we do find some ladies won't play netball because they don't feel comfortable in a dress.
So I'm not going to worry Nemo about wearing a shirt.
We actually had a little boy played for Natives last year.
Yeah, so Dusty.
Yeah, Dusty.
He was playing for
he's
Waves.
He's moved up the Rockets.
So he used to be
used to play.
our only boy that used to play netball.
That's
and
such a
BNA.
sweet little kid.
Yeah.
He is. Oh. He was adorable and just full of talent. But unfortunately, he wouldn't be able to continue this season because of his age.
Yeah.
So if we can get more boys and men involved in the sport, that would be phenomenal.
So do you think that it will kick off? We obviously saw in the Fast Five stuff there a few weeks ago, there was a men's component. Do you think it is growing in the male side, not only here but around the country?
Yeah, for sure. A few of the high schools, they actually have introduced the boys team into the Vicky Wilson Cup and different higher level netball. And I know that BNA are definitely pushing for that presence as well. And just recently, Erin and I went down and watched the Diamonds play. And just before the Diamonds played, the Kelpies came out to play, which is the Australian men's team. And they were phenomenal. It just brings a different vibe to the game. Like you're watching basketballers play netball. It's phenomenal.
It is different, isn't it?
It is really different.
Coming from Melbourne, you're sort of, the football clubs and the netball clubs are all, intertwined. Well, that's Tasmania, but they're together, and and everyone gets around each other on their Saturdays, and they play their respective sports, and they all get back together in the clubhouses and have a bit of fun. But you guys aren't sort of experiencing that right now. But geez, if you could, it's not to intertwine, but it would be.
Nemo,
definitely.
Be great.
you would be no good at netball, mate, because there's only one little roped off bar area, and you can't drink while you play.
I'm playing footy, mate.
Yeah, but even after we could go and play netball. I loved indoor netball back in the day. It was great. Friday night,
Netball mix.
beautiful.
Yeah. Yep.
Have a few cans. It was awesome fun. Friday
Awesome
night.
game. Good on the knees, girls. Good on the ankles.
Yeah.
And as being a bit of a basketballer, it comes, it's pretty natural to me. So I enjoyed it.
You can't dribble it, but fun though.
We didn't have many this year, but we would like to encourage more ladies to play.
Well,
Yeah, give it a try.
Victoria's
there
sitting
you go.
right there.
She's good.
I used to play netball all the time as a kid, and it was one of my favourite sports. I loved it.
Well,
And
you've come at the right time.
There you go.
Sign her up.
So how can
here's my card.
how can anyone get in contact with you in the new year? You've got a Facebook page, website.
Yeah. So we do have a Facebook page, and we put all of our updates up there. But they can also email nativesnetball@hotmail.com, and we can send out the information pack that we do to all of our current families. Definitely wanting some more support in 2024.
We'll get in contact with the new secretary of 4BU.
Well, that's
Second, what are you smoking?
Just dial into 4BU every day. You'll be right. Get Vic on there. I like it.
Very good. Okay, thanks very much for coming in, and I wish you all the best for the 2024 season.
Thank you very much.
Let's get an A-grade premiership for the Pies, eh?
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Let's work on it.
We nearly did this year. Next year.
24's the year.
24.
Absolutely.
Space.
Like
Okay.
it.
And are you girls going to stick around for the games at the end of No.
Definitely.
I can't do handstands.
Okay, we're going to head to a commercial break. After the break, we're going to cover the rest of the sport around the region. We'll be right back.
Our programs are made by the very heartbeat of our town. It's our people that make our programs about us and what we do. From an early morning Anzac Day service to local sport, lively conversation about the game, to local music and the food we grow. Our people watch our locally made programs starring us and what we do. Your business can reach our audience in several very cost-effective ways. To find out how, send us an email or call for a no-obligation chat.
See Taggle Vans, your family-owned caravanning experts for the popular New Age caravan range. Walkinshaw designed and engineered for superior strength and reliability. Start your adventures today with a New Age caravan from Dale and the team at Tackle Vans to Calvin Street, Bundaberg.
Welcome back to the show. Okay, we're going to cover a few of the other sports that's been happening around the area. Nimo, we're going to go to you here. I don't know if this is going to be a sore point or not, but the AFL 9 semi-finals and finals last Wednesday night, you just fell at the green machine, fell at the final hurdle.
Yeah, well, I said the week before that, we might have a couple of big ins, and we did. Or one at least, and we got up in the first game. We beat the undefeated Bridgestone Jewelers. Flemo, I told you everything's possible in finals, and we did. I think Liam Cronk had a shot after the siren to win the game for the Jewelers, and he kicked the point. So he gave us the victory, which was sensational.
So you're looking at that photo there, you look pretty unimpressed with getting
that's the grand final
beaten by
there,
a point in the grand final.
So the reverse result in the grand final, and they had a shot after the siren to win the game, and Bo Tanky kicked a 9-pointer. We're up by 8 points, mind you, and she kicked a 9-pointer to win the game for him. So, Flemo.
Who was defending it?
I think Levi. Levi. Let's not mention names. Levi. But no, just to get into the grand final was a massive achievement from the Green Machines. Mostly waves players. You know what they say, it's not the size of the boat, it's the motion of the ocean, and you can always count on the waves. I just made that up. But same thing in the social comp there. So Metro Magic, they're made up of mostly Waves players as well, and they beat the previously undefeated top team as well to go into the grand final, and then they fell just short with Wags, who was a ring in late, winning the best and fairest. He's got the mug there. He doesn't even drink, so I don't even know why he's holding it, but he got the best and fairest. With Jaden, he got the best and fairest for our team, the Green Machines.
In the grand final.
In a losing
best
team.
On ground.
Best on ground
in a losing.
Yeah, best on ground.
Best on ground.
For the losing team. So, no, look, great night. It was a great year. Hats off to Krebsy, who he had a few obstacles thrown his way throughout the season, had to change venues and that sort of thing, and he did a tremendous job of making it all happen. And everyone stayed true to the task and played some good footy, and it was a really good night, that final night, and that's 2 years now. And Krebsy's been running it, and hats off to Paul Timms as well, your mate Flemmo, who started it 3 years ago at Brothers and got it back running. It's a massive achievement from the brothers, and what I would say is some good skills there too. Look at that.
Oh,
Mate, I probably called that a bit late. But we might even, and Waves probably need to lift our game a little bit as well. So we might even start like a Masters tournament next year at some stage as well. So if you're 35 years and over, we might be able to get Brothers and Waves all involved, and we might be able to set up some sort of a Masters AFL game, not nines, AFL, like full contact.
Bring back the Brewers.
Yeah, and we might go and play. Down Harvey Bay against, or we might have a draft night. Anyway, there's going on, but yeah,
the fruit bats.
Lots going on. Thinking out loud, Flemmo, and it's probably not the right venue for it.
We used to have the Bundy Brewers a few
the
years
are
ago
still floating
back,
around
and
somewhere. Yeah.
so I've still got my jersey at home. Yeah, and we used to play against Gladstone and Sunny Coast and that a couple of times. So.
I reckon watch this space, we might make it happen.
Yeah, there's plenty of us that are old enough.
Speak for yourself.
So yeah, just wrapping up there at the Nines there, well done to Braden Krebs and all the crew that got that up off the ground again.
Yeah.
And, getting a lot of people that don't play a lot of AFL out there having a kick. So
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
Yeah. All right, softball. Tiana Waugh represents Queensland from the 12th to the 17th of December. She's away at the moment. As she takes the field at the National Under-23 Championships in West Beach, Adelaide. So good luck to her.
Nice course there too. Grills, you played that one?
No.
Oh,
not West.
yeah, nice little course there, right in the heart of Adelaide near the airport. Nice course, nice course. You'd go, I reckon you'd go, a couple under there, I reckon.
Cycling, day 3 of the Queensland Junior Under-19 Elite Track Cycling Championships. Sees another 2 silver medals coming home from the team in the sprint race. Congratulations to Ben Rudd, Archie Pratt and Cameron Tipple. So there's the guys there. Well done to those guys.
We talked about them the other week after the cycling spectacular. There was big things to come for them boys, so good job.
We had round 12, I believe it was, of the Rugby Union Spring Cup. Results from the weekend. The Gladstone Goats 102 defeated the Turtles 3. It was a bit of a shellacking.
Was that a road trip too?
I think it was at Agnes.
That was the game at Agnes.
Yeah, I think it was a game.
Turtles! They should have got more blokes to go on that bus trip. Surely.
Bundaberg West Barbarians won on forfeit over Fraser Coast Mariners, and in the other game, Waves Falcons 19 defeated the Pythons 17. So
finally a close game for them boys.
Real close game. So what an intense match it was to welcome wife member number 4 Nick Johnston. The game lasted for almost 2 hours, marked by interruptions due to injuries and multiple cards, consuming a significant amount of time. In a nail-biting finish, the Waves managed to score a crucial try in the last minute.
Ooh.
Courtesy of 17-year-old Mitch McCullum, leaving the scores 17-all, and Tommy Akers sealed victory with a penalty goal, with the conversion to win 19-17.
Tommy Akers, a noted kicker of the football.
I've seen him kick a couple out at Solder over the league balls.
Really?
Yeah, in reserve grade.
I was going to say,
in reserve grade.
I thought he was a front row.
I think their bus broke down on the way to the game, didn't it? The Waves, and I think they might have been a little bit late.
Okay.
I seen them.
No, the Turtles for that game up there.
The Waves, the Falcons.
Yeah. Well, there was a double header up.
Oh yeah, okay,
Agnes
right, yeah, sorry,
day,
yeah.
So, yeah. So, Wave's still undefeated. 12 games in. They have a break now to the 13th of January, so they'll be back in the new year.
Yeah. Good job to the boys.
Yes. And the women's KSS Jets team that finished second in the Football Queensland Premier League this year have been back at training. They're now back in action at the Fraser Coast Sports Precinct, working on their fitness as they build towards a new season. And we went out and caught up with Gina Davis, their president.
Oh, it's so exciting to be back on this field. We got a few weeks off after the grand final, but it's good to be back. I think it's just being with this group of girls and seeing who comes down and who wants to join in, and everyone is so full of energy and so excited to be here, so it really feels welcoming. Fitness is key for us this year, and we just want to make sure that we are ready once we step on that field with the fitness to play that 90 minutes, as well as if it does go into overtime, play that extra 30. So we just want to be ready for that season, and getting out here and training and also getting some touches on the ball is what really makes that season great. Both teams get to know one another, the more camaraderie it builds, and it just gives it a really good vibe for the upcoming season because we all support the other teams, so it's good to know who you're cheering for. Oh, the number one goal is that fitness. Number two is probably just, getting that team feel. We've lost a few, gained a few, and, you never know what the season is going to bring. So that cohesiveness and to build it in preseason is what's really important. Yes, we're always looking for more people to join this club. I mean, we love this club and we want other people to love it as well. So yeah, come down, have a kick. And even if you're not the best player, get a touch on the ball, have a good time. Well, we have our FQPL team. We also have our Division 1 ladies. And also we'll be putting in teams for the Girls United this year, which isn't overly competitive, but it's for those ladies who may have never played before or just want to get back into it and play for fun. So that's a Football Queensland initiative. We're always looking for more players. Our registrations will open early January. So, come on down and decide, and our registrations will be open for everyone. Well, we have lights. We've just failed our lighting audit. However, we have a grant in currently for $250,000. So hopefully we'll get that and can upgrade those lights. We have since redirected them. So hopefully we'll get more lux out of that. And maybe we'll even get over the line. You just never know.
Yeah, thanks there to Gina. And I'm sure they're not the only club that are out on the track. I think a few of the Bundaberg clubs are back into their pre-season training. Soccer, football regions. So.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to head to a quick commercial break. After the break, we're going to talk a bit of cricket and we're going to do our year in review. We'll be right back.
Who can you call upon when interest rates are rising or if your fixed rate is ending? The refinanciers from Aussie. We'll make your home loan work harder. Let's talk.
At Rose Consulting and Financial Services, they offer fast, tailored finance solutions for a range of equipment, from business vehicles to farming machinery. Find Rose Consulting and Financial Services on Facebook and LinkedIn. RCFS, making finance simple again.
Welcome back to the show. Okay, it's time to talk a bit of cricket from the weekend. Matt, we had the last round of T10 fixtures in the Aussie Bundy Big Bash.
Yeah.
I know the games didn't really have a bearing on too much result. Obviously, it was going to be up to whoever finished first between the Heat and the Taipans game, which was the first game we saw.
Yeah.
The Heat 4 for 66, but they were chased down by the Taipans 2 for 67. Mitch Waters top scoring with 25 not out, and they just sort of got a bit of probably a mental edge for next week. I know the Heat are short a few, but they'll be back stronger. Sam Pearson, Ryan Norton will be back in, so that'll strengthen their batting a hell of a lot. The Heat coming into the final.
Taipans are pretty solid, but aren't they? So they've been pretty solid all year with their numbers. So a few disappointments with the Heat this year, with a few guys sort of deciding to pull the pin on them a bit early, which hasn't really helped out, has it?
No.
So really hasn't helped Wade there, has it? Like as the franchise owner, he's got guys not commit for him, which really hurts him.
Yep. All right, at the completion of that game, we caught up with Heat stand-in skipper Chris Napper.
Okay, joining us this evening we have Chris Napper from Wade and Belinda Abbott's Better Home Living Heat. Chris, you guys played the early game tonight up against Dale and Natalie Rethamel's Tackle Vans Taipans. 4 for 66 you got with the batting. What was your take on that in the 10 overs?
Look, I was happy with the young fellas up the top. It was sort of more about them tonight. If they came back after 10 overs and we're not out, and whatever score we took on the board, I would have been happy with, just to give them a bit of a crack and a bit of experience. So it was good to see them have a good opportunity.
Generally quite under strength tonight. You knew that going in. You're happy with the young fellas and their efforts, but obviously looking forward to next week's grand final.
Definitely, it was still a good bit of a hit out for a couple of boys. Matty Posibon came in at the end and whacked the ball pretty hard, which was good to see. So he'll definitely take that into next week, hopefully, if he gets the opportunity with the bat towards the end of the innings.
Now the Taipans have got up over you tonight. It's a T10 game. Do they take the psychological advantage into the grand final next Friday night, or does tonight's game really count for nothing?
I wouldn't say it counts for nothing, but I think they'll probably still be confident with tonight. Mitchell Waters came out and hit them really well, and Toby Lamond at the top of the order as well hit some really big sixes. So I think they'll take some confidence from that. But we'll be back up and firing, ready for the grand final next week.
Yeah, both teams you'd have to say were quite under strength. It was a T10 game tonight. We're probably really looking at two totally different teams in a totally different format with T20 next Friday night. How much are you looking forward to playing in the grand final next Friday night?
It's a grand final. You always got to get up and about for a grand final. So sometimes they don't come around for too many people. So just to be in the grand final itself's a wonderful achievement. But as I think Adam Posibon was saying in an earlier interview, that Wade hasn't won one yet. So it's about time that we deliver for him.
And will you guys do anything special this week? Will you get together to have a training session or have a meeting and devise game plans to take on the Tackle Van Taipans?
We haven't trained all year for the heat, so I think we'll probably keep that the same, and we'll just go out there, have a bit of fun and work to some sort of plan, depending on how the day goes. Things can change pretty quickly out on the field, so just be ready to adjust on the fly.
And players missing from tonight, other than Arden Lankowski, who's going to be looking at being back on board for the GF?
We should have Sam Pearson and Ryan Norton back in the side, and I think Ned Jenner and Roy Heath are the other couple to come in. So some very handy additions with the bat, and Roy to open the bowling. So that'll be very handy for next week.
Yes, Sam Pearson, Ryan Norton, having both played for Wide Bay, two very experienced players, big hitters with the ball, and both very good in the field. So good luck for the grand final next week, and hopefully for Wade Abbott's benefit, the Heat do get up.
We'll definitely get up, don't you worry.
Thanks for joining us. Cheers.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks to Chris Napper there, getting ready for their grand final this week, which we'll talk about in our last segment. The other game, Vikings 5 for 95, Adam Posibon 30 and Sean Penny 29. The Pies 10 bowlers bowled an over each. They've everyone a bit of a go, especially a lot of the younger guys, as Chris just said.
Is that you, Grills?
That's throw Rhys under the bus now again, is it?
That's beautiful.
Good bowling.
Yeah.
Brody Coates picking up a couple of wickets there. And in return, the Pies chasing down an 8.3 overs, 3 for 101. Hayden Pope 49 not out, and Kynan Hard 31 off 12. Did the damage early on.
What about the fielding? Nearly got a run out there, Grills.
Nearly.
Was that you there?
Yeah.
Was.
Solid.
So, the Pies finished the year with 2 wins and, one of them years of what could have been. So, but
You were
anyway,
in every game, but weren't you?
pretty much. There was only one game where against the Vikings, I think, where we were sort of blown away. But that was a good shot. How clean does Toby Lamond? Is he hitting the ball at the moment?
Yeah,
so
he
could be a key
fire.
factor. We'll talk about in the preview. But so after the game, we caught up with Vikings Adam Posibon.
Adam Posibon from the Vikings. A bit of a tough game tonight, Adam. 5 for 95 off your 10 overs. You yourself batted quite well. Were you guys happy with the score that you got to start with?
Yeah, for sure. Posting 95 in a T10 game is always good. Setting The team chasing anything over 8 runs and over, you got to back yourself as a bowling unit to get the win. But yeah, just not the way it went tonight.
Yourself 30, Sean Pinney 29. No one else sort of really went on with it. Would have been nice to get the magic triple figures, get into those hundreds. Just a psychological barrier there.
Yeah, like I said, I think we started very well, which we kind of have been doing all year. But just a couple of the middle overs, they just bowled really well and pinned us back, and then Pinney at the end hit a couple of nice shots to get us up to 95.
Now, were you confident in being able to defend that particular score, or was it always a little bit shaky depending on how the wicket was going to play later in the game?
To be honest, we had no bowlers. So, and last game of the season, we'd already had the final. We thought we'd give everyone a bit of a bowl. So, a couple of people got a few overs that they probably wouldn't have. So, but yeah, just a bit of fun at the end, and yeah, they batted well and chased the runs down. Yeah,
Pies ended up at 3 for 101. Hayden Pope batted really, really well. They scored the winning runs in the 9th over, but it looked like everyone had a good time right through to the end there.
Yeah, Stalin tried to bounce Kynan a couple of times and got hit onto Calvin Street, so never a good way to start a bowling innings, but a lot of fun.
And next week's final, we'll see the Better Home Living Heat take up against Tackleben's Taipans. Have you got a tip for us?
I'm going to go Better Heat. Wade, he's had a team in the comp since the start and hasn't won one yet, so I reckon this is his year. He'll get one.
Righto, Adam, thanks very much for joining us.
Cheers. Thank you.
Yeah, Adam positive on there. Pretty disappointed with how the Vikings year went. So yeah, they probably let themselves down. They had a few blokes that didn't really commit once they got into it, and just had a few bad losses along the way and just couldn't really get a run at it. Adam had a pretty good year himself.
Yeah, him and Scotty, Captain Scotty, both got in amongst the runs, didn't they? They were probably just, as you said, short a little bit. A few blokes didn't really commit for them, and same with most of the teams, except most of the guys. There's a few guys that didn't really commit to the cause, so makes it hard. But yeah.
And on the other hand,
we've got our co-host here for a little spiel himself after the game on Friday night.
We have stand-in skipper for Headlands Pies, Rhys Grills. Rhys, no Mitch Parsons tonight. Stand-in skipper. You get the win. You avoid the wooden spoon. Have you sent a text to Mitch Parsons to let him know that you've avoided the wooden spoon?
No, I haven't sent a text to Mitch yet, but a few of the boys did mention that we did win because he wasn't here. So, no, Mitchie did a great job throughout the year, and just filled in tonight as I did in the very first game when he was out.
The Vikings put 95 runs on the board. Adam Posibon batted well. Sean Pinney batted well. Were you guys happy to keep them under the 100 mark, or with the batting being a little bit skinny this year, were you confident going in to chase down that total? Yeah,
we said at the halfway mark that we could get the 100 or 95. Obviously, we knew they were down a few bowlers, as well as we give everyone a bit of a bowl and had a bit of fun out there. But we knew we could get them, and the way Kynan got off to a good start with 30 odd in a hurry, and Hayden Pope did the job with 49 not out.
Yeah, the boys really brought it home. Hayden Pope showed some good experience tonight, represented Wide Bay this year. Got to be happy with his form at the end of the season. Yeah, he's coming off a pair last week for Across the Waves, so just for him to get a few runs out in the middle, get a bit of time for himself, and good to see him back in the runs. Team owner Billy Moorhead not here tonight, but has he been alerted to the win tonight? No, but I'm hopefully he's been watching on Wide Bay ITV. But no, I'm sure Billy will be in touch with us, and just thank everyone for their efforts throughout the season. Looked like the boys had a fair bit of fun out there towards the end. Everyone got a little bit of a bowl. Was it a good atmosphere out in the field during those final few overs? Yeah, no, both teams played tonight in very good spirit. Everyone had a lot of fun. Obviously, there was no final spot on the line, but it was good to see, especially those younger guys getting an over or two, and having a lot of fun. That's what it's all about. So well done to the Pies for avoiding the wooden spoon. Just before you go, Rhys, a tip for next week's grand final, Better Home Living Heat up against Tackleben's Taipans. Who do you see coming out on top? I probably will have to sway with the Taipans. I just think they've probably got a bit too much depth. Heat obviously missing Arden Lankowski and Paddy Marshman. I just think the Taipans' depth will get them home. Righto, thanks very much for joining us.
Righto, thank you.
Rhys?
Yeah, so that wraps up the round games for the Aussie Bundy Big Bash. We've had a pretty fair run with weather. We've got all
the
12
games
in,
yeah.
which I think hasn't happened for a fair few years,
exactly,
if ever.
yeah.
So
we've been pretty lucky.
Yeah.
Poor old Popey.
Yeah.
Oh, you threw him under the bus. But, well, he did come off a pair, didn't he? And he got and then a duck. Oh, well, not really him got a duck, but his sub got a duck. So he's on 3, really.
So, yeah, no, as we said, we did have a bit of weather there a few weeks ago, and credit to all the ground staff out there to get them wickets up for them couple of weeks.
Yeah, the boys have done a good job, and the fields are looking really good, aren't they, after that bit of rain? It's helped us along immensely.
The whole town's looking nice.
Yeah, it does.
Bit of green around.
Where was the wife, Grillsy?
She was at home.
Day 1 at home?
No, day 2.
That's all right.
Day 2.
Yeah, he got permission.
And I seen Billy Moorhead on Friday Arvo. He was running down the street at Bagara there, high five and everyone, like carrying on like a pork chop. So I'm not surprised he didn't make it to the game that night.
Yeah, that'll be.
It's the end. Billy's finishing up with the franchise. So was the last game ever for the Pies.
For the Pies.
Started as Parklands Pies and then branched out to the Headlands Pies when the subdivision started down there.
Well, we must be Wide Bay TV Pies.
Any potential franchise owners out there that would like to be part of the Big Bash? Call will be made out in the, in the winter, for a new team for next year. So, any business owners out there that are interested?
Watch this space.
Yeah, watch this space. It'll be out there.
Okay, Saturday we had the first day of the second round of 2-day fixtures. Obviously halfway through, but North's 115, Dale Steele 5 for 13, winding back the clock. And East are 8 for 134 at stumps. So they've taken first innings points, but only got a 19-run lead. So they could get a couple of early wickets North and get a bit of a total. You never know what could happen, as we saw in the last game.
Exactly,
And the other game...
and old Bruce Worthington with 5 for as well.
And young River Felstead with 54 for his, so batted very well. And the other game at stumps, Brothers 131, Sam Pearson 39, and Callum Nybecker come back after a bit of an injury. He had a bit of a side strain. And
he's looking pretty good, old Cal, too. I reckon
5 for 14.
He's been on the training. 5 for 14. He's been training pretty hard. You'd like to see him as single at the moment. He's looking pretty good.
Cleaned up the tail, I think he did.
No.
Well, he's still looking good, though. Here on the grapevine.
And in reply, at stumps, ATW 5 for 106 with Corey Pope not out on 44, and he's joined at the crease with Captain Chris Duff and a handful. So Sam Pearson bowled 12 overs, 3 for 42. So pretty big effort.
He was a bit tired too, Sambo.
Yeah.
He'd had a bit
batted for a fair while, and then
he'd had his Christmas party on the Friday night. He was a little bit wounded when he turned up, and to go out there and bat for that long and then go in and bowl, but he was captain for the day as well. So a lot to look forward to that game, eh? See how Waves respond after what happened to the last game, isn't it?
25 to get still.
Yeah, that's right. And what have they got? 4 in the shed, 5 in the shed. And who comes in? Hayden, no.
Ryan
Nordo comes in.
For Brody Coates. So Nordo will still bat.
Yeah.
And they'll have
Mitch
the
is still
bowlers.
there. So, they got a little bit of batting there, but hopefully Matty Posibon's batting this week, not Callum Nybecker.
Yeah, I don't know. There needs to be an investigation. If
exactly.
Not.
Yeah.
And at the moment, the Wide Bay sides are away at the QJC State Championships for under 12s, 13s and 14s. The 15s are playing a state challenge in Mackay at the moment. I know they've had a little bit of weather, and the 16s were scheduled to play in Cairns this week, but with Tropical Cyclone Jasper coming in, that got canned last week.
Washed out. I would say.
Yeah, no, they didn't even get on the plane.
No.
All right.
Save some money on a plane trip and
As this is our last show for the year, we're going to do a little bit of a year in review. A few things more locally, but we'll touch on a little bit of international stuff. We go back to all the way to March this year. We had the Big Bash finals from last season with Pies were the premiers, and then Rum City Foods Division 1. Brothers were the premiers in that.
Yep.
Then moving into the winter sports, Brothers won the rugby league. It was a pretty good grand final. Was out of that one. beat West in the grand
Oh,
final.
yeah, they did too. Yeah, very
We're
close
down
game.
a lot and got away with it
Yep.
at the end. The AFL Bombers continued on their merry way, boys.
Do we
Is someone going to knock them off in 2024? Harvey Bay Bombers.
Not the size of the boat. It's the motion of the ocean, Grillsy. You can always count on the waves.
Okay, so your black and waves can...
I reckon we could give them a rock this year.
Well,
Give them a crack
that's-
this year.
That's our philosophy now, and we're running with it.
Yeah,
I reckon we will,
righto,
Flemo.
perfect. I
All
like
right.
it. We better send that to Stoney.
And hockey, we saw Cities take out the men's premiership and the Raiders Rovers ladies. There. Netball, as the girls touched on earlier in the show, waves gold with the Division 1 premiers there. And soccer, we saw a bit of an upset. The high-flying ATW got knocked off by UP in the grand final. So
That was a good night. We actually were there, weren't we? And the waves,
extra time
and the our mates, a
ups
few of
and
our
downs,
mates
right.
who are the waves.
Talk about riding the waves that night.
Exactly right. The Nico and Laff were peaking up here, and
Peaks
then
and
next
troughs.
minute, never heard a word out of them, did we? So they were gutted.
They were.
Actually, after they probably never lost a game nearly all year. But it was for someone who doesn't really like soccer and watching it was a pretty good night out there.
Any game that goes to extra times in a close grand final.
The atmosphere was pretty electric.
Really
so
good. So,
yeah.
So that pretty much well done to all the premiers of their respective sports around the region throughout the winter.
Except for the Bombers, we don't have to keep rapping. They were actually lucky. Brothers Bulldogs got pretty close in that grand final, and but I mean, we don't really want to see them win either. But did we, Nemo? No, it's all right, Nemo. You stay there. You're right, mate. You're right.
Only a little over about 3 or 4 weeks ago, we saw Australia win the ICC World Cup. I know at the time, Vic, we had Paul Cochran on here, and no one gave Australia a chance, and they were 0-2, and they weren't going to win. They weren't even going to get to the semi-finals, and it was sort of one that I think Australia pulled out of the fire, didn't they?
How good was it?
Pull a rabbit out of the hat. The big show got us home,
Big
really.
show in a couple of games, and then heading to the final.
Yeah, Travis Head, yep.
And then a bunch of the other supporters just walked out.
Yeah.
We're not going to take this.
And they partied pretty hard.
And then what else? Matildas made
the semi-final
of the World Cup, which was as we all know, a massive boost for Australian sport.
Yep.
Yep.
Who won the Melbourne Cup, Nemo? That good,
I'll tell you who won
Without a fight. Without a fight, Nemo.
Without a fight, it was. The double Caulfield Cup as well. The Bundaberg Cup, Greyhound Racing. Ben Davey took that out with Springview Magic.
Yep.
$75,000 Bundaberg Cup. So that's a big one. Look out this year for Granny's Paw. She's on a 10-day injury spell at the moment, but she'll come back March next year, I think it is.
Yep. So it's been a pretty. Obviously, we had Panthers winning, Pies winning. We won't talk about that again.
No, don't talk about the NRL AFL
the Lions
double.
women.
The Lions women won,
premiership.
which was good. The Strikers women won the Big Bash again. So that was actually in the same year, technically, wasn't it? Because I think they played at the start of
Christmas,
after Christmas. So
The Matildas. Did we mention the Matildas?
Yeah, we did mention the Matildas, Nemo.
I was just doing that for Vic.
But it really
It's
did
not the
change.
motion of the. What is it? Oh.
But it really did
It's all
change
about the waves.
the philosophy, for women's sport in Australia, and to have 11.5 million or something people watching the semi-final at the time was just amazing.
The most tuned in event this year on Australian television. That's insane.
100%.
I was at the Luke Combs concert, standing in line to buy merchandise, and there would have been 25 people in the line with their phones out watching the penalty shootout in that whichever quarterfinal I think it was, penalty shootout, and no one was caring about the music that was playing out the back. Everyone was just watching this, and they were a little bit delayed in different spots. So you had people cheering over there, and they go, "What? Oh yeah, cheering over here and cheering over there." It was just phenomenal.
Well, it'll be one of those things where you look back and say, you remember where you were, you're watching it.
Oh yeah, I know where I was.
Well, I know where I
definitely.
was. I was at the Albion Park Trots.
That's right, you were down there too. Well, I was standing in line to buy a T-shirt at Luke Combs. That's where I was.
No, as I said, it's been a big year in sport, and it hasn't finished at
just yet.
Hasn't finished just yet. So All right, we're going to head to our last commercial break for the year, and after the break we're going to do a quick preview of what's coming up in the next week in sport.
Rum City Foods stocks everything. Paul's Milk, frozen products, packaged foods, dairy, bakery, drinks, chemicals and all the hospitality packaging you need. Find them at rumcityfoods.com.au or at their massive new premises on Commercial Street, Bundaberg.
We all want cheaper and faster internet. Ditch the expensive, slow big guys and jump aboard Bundy's locally owned and operated Clearview networks. Higher speeds, lower cost and local. When you talk to us, you're speaking with a local team that understands your internet needs. For home and business, Clearview Networks have an alternative internet solution for Bundaberg. The view is clear. We can beat the big guys in cost and speed. Visit our website or call to discuss your internet needs.
Welcome back. Okay, it's time to preview a few things that's happening in the next couple of weeks. We'll kick off Friday night, the Aussie Bundy Big Bash Grand Final. Better Heat taking on Tacklevan Taipans. Well, we saw earlier who my tip is, and I'm still going to stick with that. I just think the Taipans have got a little bit too much depth. Heat, few injuries, suspension, few different.
Yeah.
I think it's only going to take a special innings from someone like a Sam Pearson or Ryan Norton.
With my heart, I'd like to see the Heat win, of course, but they're the only ones that haven't won one yet. But yeah, Taipans have been pretty solid all year. They've got a pretty solid all-round 1 to 11. Toby, as we've seen, in pretty good nick at the moment. Mitchy Waters, Lukey's just getting runs for fun, and as we've seen on the weekend, old Steely's can still bowl a couple down. So
so is that emotional? Is that emotional sort of pick for you guys? Because I reckon the Heat should win by a mile.
No, Taipans are pretty strong, especially if Bondi can get going at the top.
Yeah,
You've got
that's
Lockie
right.
Trent Seeds can be dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. Field well.
Yeah.
You know, probably got a bit more youth and excitement in the field. So it'll be,
Chris Duff. We haven't even mentioned Chris Duff in the Taipan side.
Yeah.
So.
It'll be interesting anyway. As you said, it could take one special thing, one good catch.
Yep.
As we've seen in the Brisbane Heat last night, one good catch can turn a game around.
But as we said, Brian Norton's obviously probably the danger man at the top. He hasn't really fired too much in the Big Bash this year.
He's probably due.
Sam Pearson's, as you said.
Oh, Sambo's been
scoring runs for fun, as you said.
And getting wickets and
So
it'd be good. Hopefully we get a good crowd out there to enjoy the last Friday night of the year.
You be out there, Nemo?
Yeah, I'm there for the Nordo show. I reckon Nordo's going to go all the way. And when you guys talk cricket on the panel there, and I sort of had me a little 10-minute kip before we have to talk about something else. The only name I hear is Nordo, so I'm on the Nordo train. Toot toot.
What about our old mate Artie Richardson with a couple of little dinky droppers at there? He could be a factor.
I'll tell you what about Artie Richardson though, and a little shout out to him before we go on. He did go down to Victoria and play for Queensland in the Masters over the week, and I think they won 4 matches and they lost the grand final. So massive achievement.
Lost to the other Queensland team. Queensland had 2 teams in the over 50s. And they lost to 2 Queensland teams made the final. So big effort.
So Queensland won.
Plenty
then
of
also
talent in
Queensland lost.
Queensland over 50s.
Yeah. Plenty of over 50s want to keep playing. It's great.
Yes.
Anyway, it should be a good night, mate, eh?
Yeah, hopefully there's a good crowd out there. And if you can't get out there, it is live on Wide Bay ITV.
With your expert commentary?
With our expert commentary.
Maybe Nemo can have a quick 5 minutes up in the box with you.
Maybe.
If we can keep him awake. It's too far from the can bar probably for him, isn't it?
Probably.
Yeah.
The Test series kicks off. Bit of a couple of non-summer really, isn't it? With 3 tests against Pakistan and 2 against the West Indies after Christmas.
Bit of a different start to the Test summer for most people. As we all know, it's always been the Gabba to kick off, but I think I like the fact that it's gone from an early, like a sort of middle of November kick-off, especially probably against Pakistan. I don't think you would have got the troops to go out there and watch that at the Gabba. So probably good starting in the holidays.
Day-night test Australia weekend at the Gabba.
Oh.
Fill your boots.
Yeah, going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Bullets play the Friday night there too, so I might slide over there for that myself.
So basketball kicking off throughout the Christmas holidays.
Yeah.
Big Bash is on.
Yeah.
Plenty of sport. Sydney to Hobart. Can't forget the Sydney to Hobart.
There's 12 nights straight of NBL, which is good, and all the Boxing Day NBA and the Christmas Eve NFL. It's just
Greyhound racing every Monday, or Tuesday on Boxing Day.
We won't mention that. Granny's paws in a spell.
Yes. So, what are you looking forward to most over the Christmas break, mate? Sport-wise.
Getting to pre-season
couple of Grand Ridge breweries.
Couple of pre-season trainings.
And, I'm just going to take it easy, Grills, and, probably just get around those greyhounds, I reckon.
Very good, very good. Vic?
In the new year, I'm hoping to get back into volleyball, actually, Rhys. I played it a bit last year, but sort of slacked off a bit this year, unfortunately. Slacked off.
That's not going to conflict with netball, is it?
Oh, never. I want to check out the netball as well, because those are probably the only two sports that I would actually consider myself somewhat good at. So it's great.
It's great. Special at pickleball.
Yeah, it's emphasis on special. Yeah. So looking forward to, it's great to see that those sports are growing each year, and so I might give it a bit of a sample myself.
Good work.
Excellent.
Very good. All right. Before we go, we've got a few thank yous. Thank you, Matt, for stepping in after a few weeks. We also had Bogey do a couple of weeks. We had Acker at the start.
Bryce jumped in for
a week when you were ill.
Yeah, supposedly, yeah.
Thanks very much. Nimo, thanks very much for your efforts behind the bar.
Always a pleasure, guys.
Thank you for your hard work.
I'm pretty sure we know what we're looking forward to over the Christmas break.
Here we go.
Having a break
and watching plenty of cricket.
Yep.
Even though we're there every week,
yep.
We want to watch it just on the telly.
Vic, thank you very much for all your work throughout the year.
Thank you so much for having me on,
guys.
guys.
Very great stuff. Thanks to the guys on the camera, the producers out the back. It's been great fun. We've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm sure we'll be back around your screen soon. Get out, support your team, and bye for now.
Enjoy your sleep, Grillsy.
And that is a car.